Breaking 90 in golf is where the game gets really fun. You're not just surviving anymore, you're actually playing, and above average at that. Welcome back, golfers, to Sam Roberts Golf, and in today's video I'm going to give you the roadmap to break 90 consistently. And no, it does not involve buying a new $600 driver. If you still have yet to break 100 consistently, definitely check out this video and I'll be here waiting for you when you return. Anyway, if you like golf, make sure to hit that like and subscribe because it helps a lot more than you think. Alright, let's hop right into it. Alright, so here's what you need to actually break 90 in 18 holes. To break 90 on a par 72, you need to shoot 89 or better, obviously, because you're breaking 90. That's only 17 bogeys and 1 par. You do not need birdies. You just need to avoid the blow-up holes. Think of it like a diet. You don't need to starve, just cut out the triple bogey desserts. I'm looking at you, Cheesecake. The first main tip today is avoiding the penalty strokes. Penalty strokes are the silent scorecard killer. If you average even just 2 penalty strokes per round, that's enough to make it go from 89 to a 91. Avoid water, avoid out of bounds, and avoid penalty areas. If you can't keep your driver in play, club down. Hit a 5-wood, hit a hybrid, even hit a long iron, just as long as you're keeping it on the short grass. Another tip is when you are teeing off, make sure to tee off on the side that you most commonly miss on, and then aim for the opposite side of the fairway. So let's say you're right-handed and you slice it, tee off on the right side of the tee box, aim for the left side of the fairway. If you go straight, you're still in play. If you slice it, you're more likely to still keep it in the fairway or just barely in the rough. This just gives you more room to have error overall. Next, when you are aiming for the green, don't feel like you need to aim directly at the flag, especially ones tucked behind bunkers, tucked behind water hazards, whatever it may be. Find the area of the green that gives you the most room for error and aim there. Normally, this is the middle of the green, giving yourself as much room as possible on either side to miss it, which will make it easier not only to keep it in play, but even hit the green and avoid that dreaded penalty shot as well. The next tip is to think of bogey as par. Now, I mentioned this in the Break 100 video, however, it is also true here. Bogey should be your personal par. This mindset shift is huge. When bogey becomes your par, you stop chasing perfect shots. This takes the pressure off and lets you play with confidence. When bogey is your personal par, you only need 1 birdie, which is par, to break 90. You don't need to go pin hunting. Aim for the middle of the green, lay up if you have to, but whatever you do, play the high percentage shot every single time. Next up, this is probably going to be another similar message from Break 100, but it is important to master the short game. The short game is where you score, period. From 30 yards and in, the entire round is saved or lost. Make sure to use bump and runs instead of high flops, aka using a lower lofted club like pitching wedge or 9-iron, even 8-iron, to chip with. And then lag putting is a must. 2 putts from 30 feet should be your goal. This means that you will have to practice your short game the most. There's a reason they say drive for show, putt for dough. A 1-inch putt counts just the same as a 300-yard drive, which in turn kind of sucks sometimes. Now let's dive in and talk about each of those 2 key points in the short game a little bit further. Your chips around the green should get you close enough to 1 putt. You get more control from a lower lofted club. Doing this is called a bump and run. These are the easiest chip shots, however, you still should practice them to better understand how much each club will roll out. So to practice, if I were to chip with my 9-iron here, I know that this is going to roll out a lot more than a wedge would, so I don't need to swing as hard. All you have to do is do a simple little putting stroke. The ball will take off and roll rather than try to control spin, try to control loft, try to control everything else that can come into play when you use a wedge. Instead, use a lower lofted club to chip. Finally, looking at the lag putting, putting is all about keeping it close to the hole if you miss. This means speed should be your main focus. Obviously, you want to have the correct line, but speed is most important aspect when it comes to medium and long putts. The next tip I'm going to mention is to avoid the hero shots. You're not trying to impress anyone with a 3-wood over water from the rough. Get back in play and avoid doubles or even worse. Ask yourself, can I hit this shot 8 times out of 10? If the answer is no, punch out. Avoiding the hero shot can save you from having costly penalty strokes. Just take one extra shot to get back in play rather than risking it all and possibly adding even more shots. Playing the smart shot also requires you to know your game and how high each club will go when you hit it. One easy way to tell how high a club will go is to step on the face. So, what do I mean by that? Well, let's say you're behind a tree and you need to know how high this club will go when you hit it. One easy thing to do is you can lay your club down and step on it to where the face is flat with the ground, and then the shaft will point up at the angle the ball will take off at. This is a great way to see if you have enough loft to get over the tree that's in front of you, or if you should just punch out and stay underneath of it and keep it in play. I use this a lot, especially closer to the greens with my 58 degree. Let's say there's a tree right here in front of us. We're just going to imagine a tree right here. What I'll do is get the club, step on it, step on the face just like that, and see if I have enough loft here to actually get over it. So knowing how high each club will actually launch the ball is just as important. So you know when to take the shot, when not to take the shot. But again, if you can't hit the shot 80% of the time, you probably shouldn't be taking it anyway. Finally, the last tip is to practice with a purpose. As I mentioned in the Breaking 100 video, ripping driver for 40 minutes doesn't count as productive practice. Structure your sessions. Now, this is going to be the exact same layout as the Breaking 100 video. You want to do 50% of your time on the short game, 30% of the time focusing on irons, and only 20% of the time focusing on woods or drivers. That's combined, not 20% each. Simulate on-course situations, practice up and downs, pressure putts, different lies. It is important to focus on all aspects of your game, especially the short game, since that is where a majority of your shots will come from. It is important to practice like you play. If you wanted to learn how to have a productive range session, definitely check out this video. Overall, breaking 90 isn't about being perfect. It's about managing your misses, playing smart, and getting rid of penalties. Get back to the basics, play within yourself, and the scores will come. Comment below what your biggest challenge is trying to break 90, and I'll try to help you out. If this video helped, definitely hit that like button and subscribe for more. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time.